Welcome to Wonderful English Learning Podcast.
Hello, wonderful English learners, and welcome back to the Wonderful English Learning Podcast. It's so lovely to have you here with us today, ready for another fun and relaxing English practice session.
Hello, everyone. I'm Ben, and yes, we are so excited for today's topic. We get so many messages from you asking for help with everyday English, the kind you use when you're just chatting with friends or coworkers.
Exactly, and that's why today we're going to dive into a topic that is all about you. We're going to learn how to talk about your daily habits, the things you do every single day from the moment you wake up to the moment you go to sleep.
It's a perfect topic because it's something everyone has. No matter where you are in the world, we all have our little routines. And being able to talk about them in English is such a useful and confidence-building skill.
It really is. And don't you worry if you're a beginner. We are going to take this very, very slowly. We'll repeat the important phrases many times and we'll practice together, just like we're all friends sitting in a cozy room having a chat.
That's the spirit. So, get comfortable. Maybe you're listening while you're on a walk, or while you're cooking, or just relaxing at home. Wherever you are, just breathe, relax, and let's learn some English together.
So, let's start with the very, very basics. How do we even begin to talk about things we do regularly? Well, in English, we often use something called the simple present tense. Now, that might sound a little scary, but I promise it's not. It's just the basic form of the verb. For example, for most actions, we just use the verb as it is.
Right, like the verb to eat. If I want to talk about my habit of eating breakfast, I say, I eat breakfast. Simple. The verb is just eat. Or, I drink coffee. The verb is drink.
Perfect. Now, there's one little tiny itsy-bitsy change we have to remember. When we are talking about he, she, or it, we usually add an S to the end of the verb. So, for example, if I'm talking about my friend Maria, I would say she drinks coffee with an S. Or my brother eats breakfast with an S.
Yes, that S is very important for he, she, and it. But for I, you, we, and they, no S. So I drink coffee, you drink coffee, we drink coffee, they drink coffee. But he drinks coffee, she drinks coffee, the cat, it drinks milk. See?
Wonderful. Let's all practice that together, just in our minds. I'll say a sentence and you can just repeat it quietly to yourself. Ready? First sentence. I wake up early. Did you say it? Good. Next one. She wakes up early. Feel that little S sound? She wakes up. Excellent.
This is such great practice. Now, to talk about our daily habits, we almost always use time words. These are words that tell us when something happens. The most common one is every day.
Every day. That's two words, but we say it almost as one word, every day. I drink coffee every day. She goes to work every day.
Other time words are in the morning, in the afternoon, in the evening, at night. And we also have the days of the week, like on Monday, on Tuesday, and so on.
So let's put it all together. A full sentence about a habit sounds like this. I drink coffee every morning. Or she goes to the gym on Tuesday and Thursday.
Beautiful. Now, Alex, why don't we share our own morning routines? I think our listeners would love to hear what we do every day. It will be like a real conversation.
That's a wonderful idea, Ben. Okay, I'll go first. So, my typical morning, I usually wake up at about 7 o'clock. My alarm clock rings, and well, I don't jump out of bed immediately. I like to stay in bed for 5 more minutes.
Oh, me too. Those 5 minutes are so important.
They really are. Then I get out of bed, I walk to the kitchen, and I make a cup of tea. I don't drink coffee, I drink tea. Then I drink my tea and I check my messages on my phone. After that, I take a shower and I get dressed. Then I am ready to start my workday.
That sounds like a very calm and peaceful morning, Alex. Okay, my turn. My morning is a little different. I am a morning person, so I wake up very early. I usually wake up at 5:30.
5:30? Oh my goodness, Ben, that is so early.
I know, but I love the quiet morning. So I wake up at 5:30. First, I get out of bed and I go for a short walk outside, just 10 or 15 minutes. The air is so fresh and clean in the morning. Then I come home and I make a very big breakfast. I eat eggs, toast, and fruit. And of course, I drink coffee, a big cup of coffee.
I can imagine the smell of coffee in your kitchen. So, you heard our routines, everyone. Let's break down some of the important phrases we used. We said, I wake up, I get out of bed, I make a cup of tea, I drink coffee, I check my messages, I take a shower, I get dressed, I go for a walk, I eat breakfast.
Those are all fantastic common phrases for your morning routine. Now, let's practice making sentences with them. I will say a phrase, and I want you to make a sentence about yourself. You can say it out loud if you're alone, or just in your mind. No pressure.
Great idea. Okay, first phrase, wake up. So think about what time you wake up. Your sentence could be, I wake up at 7 o'clock, or I wake up early, or I wake up late. Just try it.
Next phrase, get out of bed. Ready? Your sentence could be, I get out of bed slowly, or I get out of bed quickly.
Next one, make breakfast. So I make breakfast for my family, or I make a small breakfast.
And one more, go to work or go to school. So, I go to work at 8:30, or I go to school by bus.
Wonderful. You are doing such a great job. Now, let's move on to the rest of the day. What about the afternoon and evening? What are some things people usually do?
Well, for many people, they work or study during the day, so we can say, I start work at 9 a.m., I have lunch at 1 p.m., I finish work at 5 p.m.,
And after work, people have their evening routines. For example, I go home, I cook dinner, I watch TV, I read a book, I listen to music, I spend time with my family.
And then finally, the night routine, getting ready for bed. We say things like, I brush my teeth, I wash my face, I put on my pajamas. That's the clothes you wear for sleeping.
And my favorite, I go to bed or I go to sleep.
Yes. So let's do another little practice. Let's talk about our own evenings. Alex.
Okay. After I finish work, I usually go for a run in the park. It helps me relax. Then I come home and I cook dinner. I love cooking, so I often try new recipes. After dinner, I wash the dishes. That's not so fun, but it's necessary. Then I like to watch a movie or call a friend. And before bed, I always read a book for about 20 minutes. It helps me sleep. Then I brush my teeth and go to bed around 11 p.m.
That sounds lovely. My evening is a bit different. I finish work and I go straight home.
I usually cook a simple dinner, like pasta or rice with vegetables. Then I often work on my hobbies. I like to play the guitar, so I practice the guitar for an hour. Sometimes my playing is not very good, and my neighbor knocks on the wall.
Oh no, Ben!
I know, I'm still learning. After that, I usually watch a documentary on TV. And then my night routine is very simple. I brush my teeth, I set my alarm for the next morning for 5:30, remember? And I go to bed. I usually go to sleep very quickly.
I believe you after such an early start. So we've shared a lot of phrases. Now let's put them all together into a mini story. This is a great way to remember vocabulary. We're going to tell a short story about a character's day. Let's call our character Anna.
Okay, Anna. Let's begin. Anna wakes up at 6:30 in the morning. She gets out of bed and she goes to the bathroom. She brushes her teeth and she washes her face.
Then she goes to the kitchen. She makes coffee and toast for breakfast. She eats her breakfast quickly because she is a little late today.
After breakfast, she gets dressed. She puts on her blue dress and black shoes. Then she goes to work. She works in an office. She starts work at 8 o'clock.
At 1 o'clock, she has lunch with her friends. They go to a small cafe near the office. She eats a sandwich and she drinks orange juice.
She finishes work at 5 o'clock. She goes home. At home, she changes her clothes. She puts on comfortable pants and a t-shirt. Then she goes to the gym. She exercises for 1 hour.
After the gym, she goes home again. She cooks dinner, chicken and rice. She eats dinner while she watches the news on TV.
After dinner, she washes the dishes. Then she calls her mother. They talk for 30 minutes. Then Anna reads a book.
Finally, at 10:30, she brushes her teeth again, she goes to bed, and she goes to sleep.
And that is Anna's day. It's a busy day. Now, we want you to try something. Can you make a mini story about your own day? You don't have to say every single thing. Just try to say 5 sentences. For example, I wake up at your time. I eat your breakfast. I go to work or school. After work, I your activity. In the evening, I your activity. Try it. Pause the video if you need more time to think.
That is excellent practice. Now, we've been using I a lot, but what about other people? How do we ask someone about their daily habits? This is so important for conversation.
Yes, the easiest question is, what do you do every day? Or more specifically, what do you do in the morning?
You can also ask, what time do you wake up? What do you eat for breakfast? How do you get to work? Or what do you do in the evening?
Let's do a little role play. I will ask you questions about your day, Alex, and you answer. Then our listeners can imagine they are asking the questions or answering them.
Okay, I'm ready.
So, Alex, what time do you usually wake up on weekdays?
I usually wake up at 7 o'clock.
And what is the first thing you do after you wake up?
The first thing I do is I make a cup of tea.
Nice. And what do you do for exercise?
I go for a run in the park almost every evening.
And what time do you go to bed?
I usually go to bed around 11 p.m.
Perfect. See, everyone? A simple, friendly conversation about daily life. Now, you try. Imagine I am asking you these questions. Can you answer them in your mind? What time do you wake up? What do you eat for breakfast? What do you do in the evening? What time do you go to bed?
Wonderful. Now let's make it a little more fun. We talked about the simple present tense, but sometimes we want to say that we do something often or sometimes or never. We use words called adverbs of frequency.
These words are like always, usually, often, sometimes, rarely, never.
Let's put them on a scale. Always is 100% of the time. I always brush my teeth in the morning. It means every single time, no exception.
Then, usually. This is about 90%. I usually drink coffee. It means almost every day, but maybe sometimes I drink tea instead.
Next, often. This is about 70%. I often go to the cinema. It means many times, but not every week.
Then, sometimes. About 50%. I sometimes cook dinner. It means about half the time I cook and half the time I eat out or someone else cooks.
Then, rarely. This is about 10%. I rarely eat fast food. It means almost never, but maybe once or twice a year.
And finally, never. 0%. I never go to bed after midnight. It means not at all.
The HP and those words in a sentence is very important. They usually go before the main verb. For example, I always eat breakfast. She sometimes goes shopping. We rarely watch TV.
But there is one exception. If the verb is to be, like I am, you are, he is, then the adverb goes after the verb. So I am always happy. She is sometimes late for work. I am never at home.
Good point. Let's practice with our own lives. Ben, tell me something you always do.
I always drink water in the morning. Right after I wake up, I drink a big glass of water.
That's a healthy habit. Okay, something I usually do. I usually listen to music while I'm cooking.
Nice. Something you often do.
I often call my sister on the weekend.
Something you sometimes do?
I sometimes forget to charge my phone. It's true.
Ah, me too. Something you rarely do.
I rarely drink coffee, maybe once a month.
And something you never do?
I never go to work without my morning tea. It's impossible for me.
I believe that. Now, everyone, it's your turn. Can you make one sentence with always and one sentence with sometimes? Think about your own life. Just try it.
We've covered so much already. Let's take a little break and talk about something fun, the differences in daily habits around the world. It's so interesting to see how people in different countries live their daily lives.
That's a fantastic idea, Alex. For example, let's talk about breakfast. In many countries, breakfast is a sweet meal. In France, people often eat a croissant, which is a sweet, buttery bread with jam. Or in Turkey, people often eat honey and cheese for breakfast.
But in other countries, breakfast is salty. In England, a famous breakfast has eggs, bacon, sausages, and beans. That's very different from a croissant. And in Japan, a traditional breakfast can have fish, rice, and soup.
And what about the time for dinner? In some countries, like Spain, people eat dinner very late, at 9 or 10 p.m. But in other countries, like Germany, people often eat dinner at 6 or 7 p.m.
Even the way we work is different. In some countries, people often take a nap, a short sleep, in the afternoon. This is called a siesta in Spain. But in many other countries, people work straight through the day.
So when you are talking to someone from another country, it can be very interesting to ask about their daily habits. You can ask, "What time do you eat dinner in your country?" Or, "What is a typical breakfast for you?"
It's a wonderful way to learn about culture and practice your English at the same time.
Now let's get back to practice. We're going to do a longer role play now. We will have a full conversation between two friends who haven't seen each other for a long time. They're catching up and talking about their daily lives now.
Okay, I'll be Sarah, and you can be Tom, my old friend.
Sounds good. Okay, let's begin. Sarah, it's so good to see you. How are you?
Tom, hi. I'm great, thank you. How are you? It's been such a long time.
I know. So, what are you doing these days? Tell me about your life.
Well, I have a new job. I work in a library now. It's very quiet and peaceful.
A library. That sounds perfect for you. You always loved books. What time do you start work?
I start work at 9 o'clock, so I usually wake up at 7, I have a shower, I get dressed, and then I eat a small breakfast. Then I walk to the library. It's not far from my home.
That's nice. What do you do in the evening? Do you still play tennis?
Ugh, not anymore. I rarely play tennis now. I'm usually very tired after work, so I often just go home, I cook a simple dinner, and I watch TV or read a book.
I understand. My job is also very tiring. I always go to the gym after work. It helps me relax.
Really? You go to the gym every day?
Well, not every day. I usually go on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. So 3 times a week.
That's great. And what about weekends? What do you do on Saturday and Sunday?
On Saturdays, I often go shopping with my wife. We buy food for the week. And on Sundays, we always visit my parents. We have lunch with them. It's a nice tradition.
That sounds lovely, Tom. It was so good to hear about your life.
You too, Sarah. We should meet again soon.
Okay, we're back. So that was a simple, natural conversation between two friends. Did you hear how we used all the phrases we learned? I work in a library. I start work at 9 o'clock. I usually wake up at 7. I usually wake up at 7. I rarely play tennis. I often go home. I always go to the gym. On Saturdays, I often go shopping.
And we also introduced a new idea, talking about weekends. We often have different habits on Saturday and Sunday. We say on Saturdays to mean every Saturday, or on Sunday for a specific day.
Right. So let's talk about weekends for a minute. Ben, what do you usually do on the weekend?
Well, on Saturday morning, I always clean my apartment. I wash the floors, I clean the bathroom, I do the laundry, that's washing the clothes.
Oh, that's a good habit. I should do that too.
Then, in the afternoon, I sometimes meet friends for coffee, or I go to the park. On Saturday evening, I usually go out for dinner with my girlfriend. We try a new restaurant.
That sounds like a fun Saturday. And what about Sunday?
Sunday is my lazy day. I always sleep a little later, maybe until 8 o'clock. I make a big breakfast and I read the newspaper. In the afternoon, I often watch a sports game on TV. And in the evening, I prepare for the next week. I choose my clothes for work and I make a list of things I need to do.
That's a very organized and relaxing weekend. My weekend is a bit different. On Saturday, I often go to the market to buy fresh vegetables and fruit. I love cooking a special dinner on Saturday night. On Sunday, I usually relax at home. I call my family, I read a book, and sometimes I go for a long walk. I never work on Sunday. It's my rule.
That's a great rule. Everyone needs a bit of rest. Now, listeners, can you tell us about your weekend? What do you usually do on Saturday? What do you always do on Sunday? Think of 2 sentences. We are moving along so nicely. Now let's talk about a very useful grammar point for daily habits, asking questions with do and does. We talked about how to make sentences, but how do we ask questions?
It's very simple. For I, you, we, they, we start the question with do. For example, do you drink coffee? Do they live in the city? Do we have class today?
And for he, she, it, we start the question with does. Remember, when we use does, the verb does not have an S. So, does he live in the city? Not does he lives, just does he live. The S moves to the word does.
Exactly. So, does she work here? Does it rain a lot in your country?
Let's practice with some common questions about daily life. I will ask you, Alex, and you answer. Then our listeners can answer the same questions for themselves.
Okay, ask me.
Do you like coffee?
No, I don't. I prefer tea.
Do you watch movies every week?
Yes, I do. I often watch movies.
Does your brother live near you?
No, he doesn't. He lives in another city.
Does it snow in your hometown in winter?
Yes, it does. It snows a lot.
Perfect. Now, everyone, I will ask you some questions. You can answer with yes, I do, or no, I don't. Or you can give a full sentence. Ready? Do you drink tea in the morning? Do you work on Saturday? Do you like to exercise? Does your best friend live near you? Does it rain a lot in your country?
Wonderful job. You are practicing so well. Now, let's do another fun activity. We are going to play a little game called True or False. I will say a sentence about my daily habit, and you have to guess if it is true or false.
Ooh, I like this game.
Okay. First sentence. I always wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning. True or false?
From our conversation earlier, I know you wake up at 7, so I think this is false.
You are correct. It is false. I always wake up at 7, not 5. Okay, your turn, Ben.
All right, my sentence is, I never eat vegetables. True or false?
Oh, that's a tricky one. You seem like a healthy person. You eat a big breakfast with fruit. So I think you do eat vegetables. So false.
Correct. It is false. I often eat vegetables. I love them. Okay, my turn to ask you again. I sometimes go to the beach on Sunday. True or false?
That is true. In the summer, I often go to the beach on Sunday. It's so relaxing.
Nice. Okay, listeners, you can play this game with a friend or just think of sentences about yourself. It's a fun way to practice.
Now, we've learned so many phrases. Let's try to build a longer story together. But this time, we want you to listen and see if you can remember all the actions. We'll tell a story about a man named David.
David has a very interesting daily routine. He wakes up very early at 4:30 in the morning. Why so early? Because David is a baker. He makes bread and cakes for a bakery.
So he gets out of bed at 4:30. He gets dressed in his white baker's clothes. He doesn't eat breakfast at home. He goes straight to the bakery.
At the bakery, he starts work immediately. He makes the dough for the bread. He bakes the bread in a big oven. The bakery smells wonderful in the morning.
At 7 o'clock, the bakery opens. Many people come to buy fresh bread for their breakfast. David works very hard. He serves the customers with a smile.
At 2 o'clock in the afternoon, David finishes his work. He is very tired. He goes home.
At home, he eats a big lunch. Then he does a very unusual thing. He goes to bed. He takes a nap in the afternoon because he woke up so early.
He wakes up from his nap at 5 p.m. Then he has his free time. He often goes for a long walk. Sometimes he meets his friends for dinner.
In the evening, he relaxes. He reads books or listens to music. He goes to bed at 9 p.m. because he needs to wake up early again the next day.
So that's David's day. It's different from most people, but it's his routine. Now, can you remember? What time does David wake up? What is his job? What does he do in the afternoon? What does he do in the evening?
This is great for your listening comprehension. You can try to tell the story of David to yourself in your own words. It's excellent practice.
We are getting towards the end of our time together, but before we go, we want to review everything we learned today. We covered so much.
We did. Let's do a quick summary. First, we learned how to talk about our morning routine. We use phrases like wake up, get out of bed, brush my teeth, take a shower, get dressed, make breakfast, eat breakfast, and go to work or school.
Then we talked about the rest of the day. Phrases like start work, have lunch, finish work, go home, cook dinner, watch TV, read a book, and listen to music.
For the night, we have brush my teeth, wash my face, go to bed, and go to sleep.
We also learned about adverbs of frequency. Always, usually, often, sometimes, rarely, never. And we learned where to put them in a sentence.
We practice asking questions with do and does. Do you? Does he? Does she?
We talked about weekends and how our habits can be different on Saturday and Sunday.
We listened to mini stories and had role-play conversations. We learned about cultural differences in daily habits.
And most importantly, we practiced and practiced and practiced some more.
Yes, the key to learning English is practice. Try to think in English about your own day. When you wake up, think, I wake up. When you brush your teeth, think, I am brushing my teeth. This is a very powerful way to learn.
And don't be afraid to make mistakes. Everyone makes mistakes. It's a normal part of learning. The important thing is to try.
So, we want to thank you so much for spending this time with us today. We hope you feel more confident about talking about your daily habits in English.
Yes, thank you. You are a wonderful learner, and we're so proud of you for listening all the way to the end.
If you enjoyed this lesson, please let us know in the comments. You can tell us one thing you always do or one thing you never do. We love reading your comments.
And don't forget to subscribe to our channel, Wonderful English Learning Podcast, so you don't miss our next lesson.
Until next time, keep practicing, be kind to yourself, and remember, every little bit of English you practice helps.
Goodbye, everyone.
Goodbye.